You've told me that Joe Burrow is a top 10 quarterback right now. You've said that on your channel in the past. Why do you believe Joe Burrow is a top 10 quarterback right now? Personally, I don't necessarily disagree with it. Spoiler alert, I'm going to rank all the quarterbacks in the NFL at some point this offseason. I have Joe Burrow 11th. I have Matthew Stafford ahead of him at number 10 just because of Matthew Stafford's arm talent. And he's a little more proven than Joe Burrow. But I can understand why someone would have him in the top 10 because I think he's a special quarterback. But what's your take on that?
Have him and Justin Herbert as top 10 QBs because they did more with less. That's really all it is to it. Like, Zach Taylor has a head coach that's not great, was balling out. I mean, carried Cincinnati. Remember that upset they had against Tennessee?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Joe Burrow was carrying that team on his back. And how I rank QBs, you already know how I do it. I rank players and coaches based on who does more with less. You know that by me. So I don't really care how talented you are. I care with what you do when you have less to work with. That's why I was so high on Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz had way less to work with than any other QB that made it to the playoffs, and he carried them to the playoffs. So I look at Justin Herbert, didn't really have a great coaching staff, obviously by that, because they all got fired. Yeah, he had talent at wide receiver, but so did Joe Burrow. Neither one had a great offensive line, and they both performed.
Yeah,
and a lot of people don't remember this, but if Justin Herbert had the Chargers in the playoff contention, he would have been an MVP candidate. He had the numbers.
Yeah, he didn't win enough games,
Exactly.
Now, when you look at Joe Burrow, what do you think his best quality is?
I think his best quality, I don't know if it's his toughness or if it's his poise.
I think it's his poise because it just seems like he's never rattled, and that's rare for a young quarterback. Usually young quarterbacks, they get in the pocket, they're skittish when the blitz comes, and Joe Burrow's just this cool, calm guy. He'll just slide to the left, slide to the right, evade the rush, and complete a pass down the field, I think he needs to work on his deep ball accuracy because that wasn't really there this past year. But also, you have to look at the offensive line.
You're not the first person who said that. But you want to know why it wasn't there?
Because the offensive line sucked. The offensive line sucked, but also...
They got him killed. And Bengals fans try to be like, oh, these football injuries can happen. Joe Burrow was getting smacked around like a rag doll. If you would have had a better offensive line, the chance of that wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have been as hard.
We don't know that for sure. That's all I'm going to say.
But I'm just saying, it is mathematically proven. If you have a better offensive line, the less amount of chances your quarterback gets hit.
But at the same time, Carson Wentz got hurt behind an elite offensive line. He suffered the same injury as Joe Burrow. I just want to point that out. You know what I'm saying? So
I know
it's luck sometimes.
But he was already injury prone. But I'm just joking. But I definitely I understand. I'm just saying.
Now, Zach Taylor, are you sold on him yet? Because he has to make me a believer. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because, bad team, and last year Joe Burrow got hurt, and they actually won 2 games without Joe Burrow. On the road, they beat Houston. Deshaun Watson's a real player, and they beat your Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh was a really good team. So, I don't know. I'm just in wait-and-see mode with Zach Taylor. What about you?
I think 2022 next season is going to be the year that I definitely see Cincinnati bringing him back, but also at the same time, I kind of want to see him get gone, and I want them to hire Joe Brady.
That'd be interesting because, see, if I'm Sam Darnold, I want Joe Brady to stay in Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
But Joe Brady already had head coach, already was in head coaching search.
I don't anticipate he's going to be there. I'm just saying, if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm hoping he's like Brian Daboll. Like, Brian Daboll had some coaching opportunities, and he stayed in Buffalo. So that's what I would be hoping if I'm Sam Darnold. But, yeah, I mean, when you look at Cincinnati, it's just one of those things where
you put Cincinnati in the AFC South. I think they're the second best team. You put them in a less tough.
I don't think they're better than the Colts when the Colts are healthy, but
if you put them in the NFC East,
the Colts, according to you, a couple segments ago, the Colts are a really good team last year.
They were a really good team last season.
So I'm
talking about right now.
Yeah,
if you put Cincinnati in the AFC South, we would look at them different. We won't look at them as a bottom feeder. Because the reason why you probably asking this question is because you're in a division where Cincinnati is just so behind everybody, and people are trying to make it seem like Cincinnati's not that far away from Pittsburgh. Trust me, Cincinnati, it may not be a huge gap as what it was last year, but it's still a considerable gap. You got to remember, like Cincinnati's offensive line has way more concerns than Pittsburgh because you don't even have good coaching. You can't even use that as your argument if you're a Bengals fan. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't even use the whole like. At least as Steelers fans, we can say we have Mike Tomlin. We have a really good coaching staff, so the offensive line is going to be that bad. If you're Cincinnati, you don't have that. You're still behind every team in the division. Even if you're not that far behind Pittsburgh, you're still you're still a good distance away from them. You get what I'm saying? Like Pittsburgh gets a 9-8 team. Cincinnati at best is a 6-win team. We don't even know how their linebackers look. So for me, I definitely could see. I really want to see Zach Taylor back for one more season in 2022 because then they're going to have a chance to continue to the best of the offensive line as good as possible. They can improve the linebackers. I really want to see him back for 2022. I really think this season everything's just so far apart. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could see them winning 6 games this year and potentially 10 games in 2022. If they invest in the defense and the offensive line, and Joe Burrow continues to take some steps forward.
And you know it's crazy? I saw an article. It's a lot of reports about a training camp for Cincinnati. You went to one. Yeah. The one you went to, I don't know, but a lot of people out there are saying that Jamar Chase is struggling with creating separation.
I saw that report today.
You want to know what's crazy? You drafted another wide receiver, and you passed on the offensive lineman.
Well, I mean, it's Jamar Chase, and the Joe Burrow connection to LSU.
Offensive linemen are equal to more wins.
As long as you're improving the team, it doesn't matter. That's my mentality.
I understand that, but there are certain areas of teams that need to be improved more than others.
That is true. And they did have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. So, look, I was actually on the Penei Sewell train for a long time. Then I got off it and I said, get Jamar Chase. But we'll see what happens there. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.